This video will cover the Florida Highway Patrol. I'm Nicholas, and you're watching the Law Enforcement Agency Information Channel. The Florida Highway Patrol, or FHP for short, officially the Division of the Florida Highway Patrol, is the primary Florida state law enforcement agency and falls under the Florida Department of Highway Safety and Motor Vehicles. By the way, before I start, ignore the stuff behind me. I'm currently in the basement of my house. I'd go somewhere else, but considering I have two younger brothers, the only real place in my house that is quiet is the basement, so I kind of have to stay down here right now. Anyways, the Florida Highway Patrol is responsible for enforcing state motor vehicle, traffic, and criminal laws throughout the state of Florida. They primarily operate on, but are not limited to, Florida interstate highways and state highways and state buildings. Their duties include patrolling and controlling the flow of traffic on Florida highways, participating in pursuits when issued, witnessed or requested, responding to and investigating emergencies, crimes, car accidents, and incidents taken on Florida highways, working with fellow law enforcement agencies, issuing citations for violations of state traffic laws, assisting in the protection of important state-owned buildings, Florida state-owned buildings, such as the Florida State Capitol, Florida State Courts, and etc. Sorry, my computer almost shut off there. Assisting or protecting the governor of Florida, the executive director the Florida Executive Director of Highway Safety and Motor Vehicles, and other Florida state officials. And then, that's really it for their duties and responsibilities. Florida state troopers are authorized by Florida state law, specifically Chapter 321 of the Florida Statutes, which are the state laws of Florida. Anyways, to enforce state laws, carry firearms, issue warrantless arrests, and carry out warrants both on duty and off duty. They have statewide jurisdiction throughout the state of Florida to enforce state laws. Florida state troopers undergo approximately 30 weeks of rigorous paramilitary-style training at the Florida Highway Patrol Training Academy located in Tallahassee, Florida, which so happens also to be the capital of Florida. The Florida Highway Patrol Training Academy, just like most state police academies, is not only rigorous, but is also mentally and physically exhausting. The things that they will cover during training include written exams, defensive tactics, firearm tactics, medical and first aid and medical tactics, weightlifting, vehicle tactics, a running course, and court security and court security training tactics. Additionally added on top of this, the Florida Highway Patrol Training Academy. Again, this is really only for getting into the agency. Once you get into the Florida Highway Patrol, passing the academy and becoming a trooper, you will most likely go through more additional on-the-job training. In fact, I believe that once you actually join the Florida Highway Patrol after completing all that, you after completing their academy and becoming a trooper, I believe you have to go through an additional 12 weeks of on-the-job training. I know, crazy. I think that part is a bit too intensive, especially after that entire academy. But I mean, the real reason why they do that is to test you and make sure you're really capable of doing your job professionally, because they don't want you dying out there. And many people do ask why state troopers, like those from the Florida Highway Patrol, need such intensive training. And the real reason is it's not Florida Highway Patrol, state troopers, and state troopers in general have a tougher job than you actually think. They're not just out there controlling traffic on highways all day. They experience a lot of things every day. They have to be ready and vigilant, and they have to be ready and vigilant to respond to any emergency, whether that is a 100-mile-per-hour pursuit, a mass shootout, a deadly car crash, etc. They have to be prepared, and in order to really be able to do that and respond to those situations quickly, you need intensive and disciplined training. And paramilitary style training academies are really the only way to do that. But yeah, so I mean, if you were to ask me whether I support their rigorous and intensive training, or whether I think they should have less intensive training, I'd say I do support their intensive training, and I think that it is really good for the troopers because it prepares them for their on-the-job duties. And let me ask you this: if you were a trooper, would you rather go through an intensive academy, or would you rather die knowing that you didn't get enough training to prepare you for that you did that? Let me rephrase this. Would you rather go? Would you rather go through an intensive training academy, or would you rather die because you weren't trained enough? And me personally, I would choose to go through an intensive training academy, but that's just me. It's really for the safety of the troopers, not just to stress them out or anything. It's because they don't want them dying on duty. And after the Newhall incident and other major police shootouts, their training has really increased and has been to be much more rigorous. So yeah, that's really it for their training. So yeah. The Florida Highway Patrol reports to the Executive Director the Florida Executive Director of Highway Safety and Motor Vehicles, who reports to the Governor of Florida. The rank structure of the Florida Highway Patrol from high to low is in the following order: Colonial, Lieutenant Colonial, Major, Captain, Lieutenant, Sergeant, Corporal, and then Trooper. The Florida Highway Patrol is broken down into troops and bureaus. Troops are essentially stations or barracks composed of state troopers responsible for conducting the majority of Florida Highway Patrol's field patrol uniform duties. This includes patrolling Florida highways, responding to emergencies on Florida highways, enforcing state laws, etc. Anyways, each Florida State Trooper each Florida State Trooper is assigned to a specific troop. Whatever troop he or she is assigned to is where he or she will primarily operate. Their troops include Troop A, Troop B, Troop C, Troop D, Troop E, Troop F, Troop G, Troop H, Troop K, and Troop L. Now on to bureaus. So bureaus are essentially the specialized units of the Florida Highway Patrol. They are responsible for conducting. Each bureau is responsible for conducting different duties. So it's hard to say like an overall responsibility. However, it's typically regards things that regular Florida State Troopers don't do. So things like things like complex criminal investigations, analysis, intelligence gathering, etc. Their bureaus include the Bureau of Criminal Investigations and Intelligence, the Statewide Honor Guard Unit, the Criminal Interdictions Unit, the Office of Commercial Vehicle Enforcement. So yeah, that's really it for their troops and bureaus.